This original WSRE presentation is made possible by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Ramika Vincent Leary and welcome to this edition of In Studio. The holiday season is upon us as many people scramble to choose the perfect gifts for friends and family. In the midst of it all, our furry friends should not be left out of the equation. During this edition of In Studio, we'll explore animal welfare and pet adoption, while also examining the vast services offered by the Wildlife Sanctuary of Northwest Florida. From man's best friend to bobcats and bears, get ready to learn how you can impact animals of all shapes and sizes for the better. It's all coming up right after this. Welcome back, everyone. During this edition of In Studio, we'll be discussing animal welfare with 3 local agencies. In this segment, we'll focus our attention on the Santa Rosa County Animal Shelter. I'm happy to welcome the director, Dale Hamilton. Joining him is Shelley Ashley, Medical Director of the Veterinary Technology Program at Pensacola State College. Welcome to both of you.
Hi.
So it is the holiday season, Dale, and a lot of times people may forget about our furry friends, right? So tell us a little bit more about your organization.
Well, we have 19 employees. It's 24/7 operation. The adoptions are Monday through Friday from 8 to 4, and then Saturdays be 9 to 2.
And why is it important for people to consider adopting a pet instead of maybe buying a box of chocolates for a friend or a family member? It's the gift that keeps on giving, right?
Yes, ma'am. You get the right pet, it can last a long time with you. And make sure you get the right one, Do your research and get the right breed that fit with your family and what you'd like to be doing.
All right, so tell us a little bit more about the adoption screening process, right? There has to be some kind of process.
Yes. If you have any other animals, they need to be vaccinated against rabies. We will do yard checks to make sure there's, you can contain the animal. That's mainly the main thing is be able to contain it
and making sure that it doesn't get out or maybe a pet biting someone else. But let me paint a little scenario for you. Right, Shelley? And I know that you work with PSC, and I'll get to you in just a moment. But Dale, let's say I'm interested in gifting someone with a pet during the holiday season. And what if I didn't do my homework? I didn't find out whether or not they really do want a pet. So tell us some of the things people should do if they're thinking about making this a prospective holiday gift.
Well, make sure you tell the people that you're thinking about doing this. Everybody may not want to be surprised with a pet. But do that. The children, make sure they're old enough, and educate the family.
Well, I'm looking right here. I see your facility now. Interesting caveat that you told me earlier. You don't only house dogs and cats. Tell us about some of the other animals.
We have had chickens and snakes. We've got 1 rabbit now.
Okay.
Just whatever is out there that we get a call on, we'll go take care of it.
I hear tell maybe a chicken, an iguana. You had mentioned previously that you had a horse. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we've had horses several occasions. People just can't take care of them, and we have to step in and sometimes remove them, or they will, surrender them to us. And then we, take steps to find a new home for them.
We'll get back to you in just a moment, Dale. Shelley, shifting over to your side of the world over here. You work for Pensacola State College, but you have a very colorful history. You were once a business owner, so give us a nice little picture of your life leading up to this job now at PSC.
Well, I've been in private practice for 22 years, and 12 years of those as a business owner. I had a practice here in Pensacola and recently sold that business this summer, and decided to devote my time to teaching at PSC and serving as medical director. And it's been a very positive experience for me, the teaching, giving back.
We see some footage up here right now. The duties that are entailed being a medical director? Expand on that for us, please.
Well, primarily, in essence, I serve as the program veterinarian. So I'm in charge of medical care for our animals that come in to the college, and I sign a lot of paperwork.
Now I noticed several animals here on the table looking at the video there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of work, right? These students have to be trained to do things correctly.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
There's accountability with that.
Absolutely.
So how many students would you say on average are enrolled in the program right now?
Right now, we have 16 students in the second year and 17 students in the first year.
All right, and as far as treating animals, how does that work? Do you accept animals from anywhere, or do you have specific guidelines for that?
Well, the Pensacola State Veterinary Technology Program is not a clinic open to
Right.
the public. So we receive animals from our local animal shelters, and that allows our students to acquire hands-on experience. It also, in return, will provide certain medical care, medical services, spay and neuter, dentistry, microchip. And so it's a win-win situation for both agencies. And we couldn't do it without our animal shelters. I can't say enough to say a thank you to them.
Absolutely. And so are these the animals that cannot be contained at these shelters that are brought to PSC?
Not at all. They're
Okay.
animals that have been selected for the adoption process.
Good.
Just us being able to, for example, spay and neuter them allows them to go into the adoption process sooner, as well as the dentistries, things like that. So they are animals that are in the queue to be adopted. This just allows us to facilitate the adoption process.
And look at that handsome dog up there.
Absolutely.
For the sake of our viewers, spaying and neutering, will you define both and gender-wise, which applies?
Yes, generally the lay term for an ovariohysterectomy
Okay.
in a female, that's a spay,
Yes.
and a castration in male, that's a neuter.
Interesting.
Yes.
All right, back to you, Dale. Let's talk about those yard checks. You and I were talking behind the scenes, and I saw you in your uniform. I said, probably a lot of people might get scared when they see you, not really getting up close and knowing who you are, what you do, right?
Sometimes, not all the time. They pretty much know us over there.
Explain the process for the yard checks. Do you actually do this before someone comes in and wants to adopt a pet?
It's usually during the adoption process. They do the application, and we'll go out and if there's a question, and make sure they can contain the animal.
All right. Now, what happens if, let's say, an animal is adopted and then you find out later that things didn't work out? What would happen then? Have you ever had to take a pet back from someone who received it?
I haven't personally.
Not personally?
In our adoption contract, it's in there that if once you get the animal and something happens, you can't afford it or you just don't want it anymore, it needs to be returned back to the shelter.
Okay.
And then we'd go from there with it.
All right. Now, let's talk about the holiday seasons. Halloween just passed. Have you ever had any strange instances where there maybe you had a high rate of people coming in, maybe wanting to adopt, let's say, a black cat?
Not really.
Not really in this area?
No. I mean, we kind of, we didn't even adopt out black cats during Halloween for the last few years.
Particular reasons, yes.
For Halloween and different things that, have happened, nothing here that I can think of in our county, but just as a precaution.
So statistically, on average, and you don't have to give us any specific numbers here, how many pets do you normally have adopted out maybe in the span of a year?
That's a good one. It varies. We send a lot of animals out through rescue organizations, which not really
Okay.
adopted out. But they will take them and foster them and then adopt them out for us a lot of times. We did have last year about 5,400 animals come through the shelter, or
Okay,
up
so
through
that's
the
a pretty good
October
number.
of this year I'm talking about. And out of those, a good part of that goes to adoptions and through the rescues.
So sadly, what happens if a pet is not adopted? Is there a certain length of time that you can keep a pet?
Well, if just for any animal we bring in, the state requires us to keep it for 3 days, and we
Okay.
always keep them for 5. And normally it's a lot longer than 5 days because we try everything to get them adopted. We'll go through, like I say, the rescue organizations play a big role for us. They have their specific breeds that they all deal with too, Like, pit bulls, we don't really adopt many of
Okay.
those out, but there are pit bull rescues that can take them and place them.
Shelley, back to you. Accountability. How important is that for someone who is a pet owner already or someone thinking about becoming a pet owner?
It is absolutely important. A pet is a lifetime responsibility. You are in charge of this little life from the time of adoption until hopefully they're 15, 16, 18 years old. And that includes not only just giving them love and attention, but proper training, medical care.
Oh, look at those precious animals. You're absolutely right.
Yes.
You mentioned previously microchipping pets.
Yes.
A lot of people lose their pets, right?
Yes.
Is that a practice that people should really follow?
Absolutely. It is your best chance to be able to get your animal back if they happen to roam, get lost, even stolen. Most all veterinary hospitals have scanners, animal shelters have scanners, and that allows us to be able to reunite those pets. So,
Absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, right?
yes.
Dale, back to you. During the holiday season, do you tend to see a lot of people come in wanting to adopt a pet?
Not
Varies a
not
little bit?
really. It kind of varies. I mean, the big shopping weekend, of course, we're really slow. So maybe closer
People
to
are thinking about
Christmas,
other things. That's why we're trying to maybe have people think now a little bit deeper, right?
Yeah.
About the possibilities and the options. How can a person maybe give back? Let's say they're unable to adopt a pet, but they want to help you monetarily. How can they do that?
Well, we have a Partners for Pets program where you can donate, money to that, and that goes specifically for our spay and neuters. And you can donate through that. I believe it's online, or bring it in person, however you would like to do that. And that helps out tremendously with getting animals spayed and neutered.
So, Shelley, back to you, and with the pets that you treat, and this also really has a nice little caveat for you as well, Dale. Let's say there's a pet that's a little bit introverted and it's not coming out of its shell. How can you help that animal?
Well, that can be something that happens even in the course of any kind of adoption. Even
Yes.
a brand new puppy, there's always an acclimation period.
Okay.
Although a lot of times animals that have either been abused, have been abandoned, or have simply been in shelters too long, when they are adopted, many times we see it manifest as either fear, being
Okay.
fearful, or we see it manifest as being aggressive. And initially, most individuals, the plan needs to be is to speak softly, walk slowly,
Good advice.
and let the animal come to you. Don't try to force that bond to be created. That animal needs to have a little bit of time to get used to you. And you can also facilitate that by, certain basic obedience. Be ready to consult with a behaviorist, your local veterinarian, and so forth. But mainly it's time. Time most of all. Yes.
Time is of the essence. Absolutely, right? So what happens when a pet won't eat? There are different reasons for that, right?
Oh, yeah.
They might be trying to become acclimated to that new environment.
Well, sometimes certainly it can be an acclimation issue. It could also be a medical issue as well. So you can't assume it's just behavioral acclimation. So certainly
Good
if you
point.
have an animal that has gone more than 24 to 48 hours without eating, they need to consult the veterinarian, and they really should do that anyway with any new pet, to get them examined and make sure that we don't have any kind of problems that may be easily resolved in the beginning rather than waiting.
Such great advice, and thank you for being with us during this segment. All right, folks, as we head to break, get those pens and pencils ready. We're going to tell you how you can bring joy to a furry friend through animal adoption. The Santa Rosa County Animal Shelter is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. and on Saturdays from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. For more information, you can call 850-983-4680 or log on to the website, santarosafl.gov. Don't touch that dial. We'll be back in a moment.
American Graduate is proud to recognize a champion for education.
Autism Pensacola is a support group for those living with autism, and we seek to improve life for those living with autism.
They have given us an opportunity to be part of our son's education, to be part of his playtime. They care about inclusion and acceptance.
And our goal, of course, is to increase children's independence and help them be successful in school. We want teachers who are equipped to meet the needs of children with autism in the schools. WSRE has been a great partner with Autism Pensacola, providing us with PBS resources and helping us further our mission. We know that working together as a community, we can improve life for all of those living with autism and have great outcomes.
We get to see these kids make such great gains in communication and in social skills. So it's so important for families of autism to have this wealth of information as well as support.
And it's so meaningful when a parent comes to you and says, this is just what I needed for my son. It's made such a difference in my child's life. The more we do for them as children, the more positive their outcomes will be as adults.
Autism Pensacola, helping children and families connect the pieces. For more stories of champions, visit americangraduate.org.
Hello, everyone. During this segment, we're shifting our focus to the Pensacola Humane Society. I'm honored to introduce Sarah Humley, Executive Director. Also, Shelley Ashley, Medical Director of the Veterinary Technology Program at Pensacola State College, is back for yet another segment. Now, Sarah, I understand the Pensacola Humane Society is a privately funded no-kill facility. So can you elaborate on that for us, please?
Yes. We've been around in the community since 1943. We've been a no-kill shelter since 1980, which means that we just don't place any deadlines on when an animal needs to be adopted. When we take them into our care, we're committed to them to see them through until they find a home and they're adopted. This past year, we're going to have cared for probably over 1,000 animals, and we're looking at doing just over 1,000 adoptions at the end of this year. So
that
we
is
work
amazing.
very hard day in and day out to get all these animals into good, permanent, loving homes.
So the time span you mentioned, housing those animals, could it be indefinitely, or is there a cutoff point?
Yeah, most recently, I believe last year we had a dog that had been with us for 5 years.
Okay.
And she was a pit bull mix, so those are always a little bit harder to place. And she just had a couple quirks. She needed that perfect family to come find her, and it took 5 years, but we got her into a home. And she's an outlier. Most of them don't take that long, but we'll commit to them for that long if that's what it takes.
Out of curiosity, was she a sad pet?
She would go through her periods of sadness, but she had a lot of volunteers and a lot of the staff members that knew her and loved her. So
that is amazing.
Yeah.
All right, Shelley, back to you. Have you all worked together? You and Sarah.
We've been affiliated with the same organization.
You have.
And at PSC, yes, we do interact a little bit with her students.
Yes. Yeah.
Now, Shelley, you talked a short time ago about spaying and neutering, but Sarah, you have special clinics.
Yes.
So tell us about those.
In 2015, we opened a low-cost spay and neuter clinic because we wanted to try and stop the tremendous amount of unwanted animals, accidental litters that were, ending up in shelters in our area. And so the low-cost clinic, we hope, makes it affordable and accessible. Okay. We provide discounted spay-neuter surgeries and sometimes even free spay-neuter surgeries to the public.
How often do you hold these clinics? Seasonal or?
It's a permanent full-time clinic. We're open Monday through Thursday most weeks of the year.
All right, so Shelley, back to you. Yes. Calming sad pets, and the pit bull, it's been with you for about 5 years, we know that. What are some other techniques that owners can use to hopefully calm a sad pet?
I think one of those things is we call it give a dog a job. I like that. Give them something to do, something to look forward to, a routine that helps a lot of times bring them out of their shell, gives them something to look forward to, and be part of the family.
A task per se, right?
Yes.
Or some doggy chores, as some might say, make you laugh a little bit. Let's talk about feeding. Now, we know the holiday season is upon us, the turkey, the cranberry sauce, the whole 9 yards, but When my parents were growing up, they would tell us that they would give their pets table scraps, but we know that's a big no-no, right?
Yes.
So elaborate a little bit on that, Shelley.
Yes, that's absolutely one of many problems that we can have during the holiday season. And many times it's not even necessarily your family. It may be guests and relatives that may not be aware that that's not an appropriate thing to do. And unfortunately, our dogs and cats have a lot more sensitive GI tracts, stomach intestinal tracts than we
Right.
do. And they often end up seeing me or someone like me for pancreatitis and various other problems the day after Thanksgiving, the day after Christmas.
And we just saw some very handsome pets right there just a moment ago. Sarah, back to you. Impact 100, right? The grant money that you all received.
Yes.
Can you tell us how that process got started and how you're using all that money? We know with the spaying and the neutering, but anything else?
That process got started because we had a wonderful person who'd been affiliated with the organization for many years. She passed away and she left some money in an estate, and it was her dream to start this spay and neuter clinic. So that gave us part of the pieces that we needed to actually construct this clinic and get it started. But Impact 100, winning that grant, was like the second puzzle piece we needed in order to actually purchase all of the equipment and fill the clinic with all the equipment that we needed in order to start the spay-neuter clinic.
Just out of curiosity, is it very competitive when applying
Absolutely.
for those grants? So how long did it take for you to finally reach this milestone?
Yeah, I know that we had applied several times before I think we eventually won. So
Right, we see your facility right here.
and it was in 2013 that we finally won, and it actually was quite a long process to get the clinic open. It took us about 2 years to finally finish spending the money for the grant. So we used the full extent of the time they gave us.
There you are, doing your job so well, aren't you, Sarah? Let's talk about volunteers. So let's say somebody wants to volunteer for the Pensacola Humane Society. Is that a difficult thing? I would imagine not.
We try to make it very easy, although we do require that everyone that volunteers for us go through a safety orientation before they can actually come in and start really putting in their hours. But volunteers are so important to what we do. They really provide the love and the attention and the one-on-one care and all the walks, that these dogs and cats need.
Look at those cats over
while
there.
they're in our facility. So if it weren't for them, there's no way. We have such a small staff. There's no way that we would be able to give them the one-on-one attention that they all need and deserve to really thrive in their time while they're with us. So.
Well, let's talk about the time spans for volunteers. Can a person come in for just a few days? Is there a time commitment that they must make?
Great question.
So,
we try to make it, ours is very kind of convenience oriented. So anytime that we are open or that we have staff there on site, they can come in and volunteer at a time that's convenient for them. We usually ask them to commit at least 4 hours a week. Not a week, a month.
Okay.
4 hours a month or 1 hour a week or so to our program. That way they just kind of stay current on the rules, what's happening, people know them. But that's really it. They can kind of come and go at times that are convenient for them. And they can do events,
Okay.
they can come into the shelter, they can work doing certain tasks at the clinic, or they can just kind of be an advocate for us out in the community. There's a bunch of different ways to help.
That sounds wonderful. So, Sarah, back to you. In the program, do you ever have anyone outside the program per se, people who aren't students, maybe just concerned people in the community who would like to help with the program? Have you ever had anyone call you up and say, let me come over there and see what I can do to help you?
We occasionally will get phone calls like that, and unfortunately, we really can't take volunteers from the public,
Right, because
we're an
program.
educational institution. We do, however, before students can enroll, we do require that they do a certain number of observation hours at local clinics or shelters, humane societies, so that they have had experience in the real world before they choose that as a career.
All right. And pets can be so therapeutic.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So talk a little bit about that, some of the ways in which pets have served in those roles.
Well, certainly there's a traditional roles everyone has heard of, the service dogs, the seeing eye dogs, seizure dogs. There's also comfort or therapy animals for folks that have post-traumatic stress syndrome,
Yes.
et cetera. But there's also that little category that as a veterinarian you experience, and that is simply mostly what I saw was the elderly. The need of the elderly for a
Okay.
companion dog and how much that contributed to their life, gave them focus, gave them something to do. and how heartbreaking it is when they lose that older pet. That was something that always got to me as a veterinarian.
That's interesting. So let's say a family has 2 cats. One cat dies, the other cat feels lonely. And a lot of times, what can a person do to cheer up that animal? But as you said, there's just so many things, maybe bringing in another pet.
Yeah, the animals absolutely have grief when they lose one of the family members. And sometimes it's appropriate to try to bring in another animal. Sometimes it's appropriate, like I discussed before, give them a job to do, give them some kind of new routine or responsibility. It just depends on the individual pet, what's best for them and your family.
That's amazing. So glad that you mentioned that. Now, Sarah, do you ever have people come in and just volunteer and play with the pets? We saw you playing with the cats just a short time ago.
Yeah.
But are there people, maybe even school children, youngsters, that say, hey, let me just come and see what I can do in that respect?
Absolutely, and especially with the younger kids, we like to kind of point them toward the cat rooms because they really enjoy playing with them, and the cats need that kind of enrichment in that activity to really be as healthy as they possibly can to really thrive. And it helps take the shy ones and bring them out of their shell.
Bring them out.
Helps socialize them to people. And so that's always a great place for our kids to really help get involved. But we have some too that they like to do some little chores around the outside of the facility too, or picking up, cleaning up some stuff. So there's so many things they can do.
Shelley, we have to talk about the dark side because sometimes there are people that don't know how to handle their pets with love, right? That might be a little too rough.
Unfortunately,
anyone could be too rough with a pet. So do you have any advice for our viewers in that respect? Maybe if someone notices that and they see a change in that pet's behavior, what can be done?
Well, I think certainly the first thing to do is just try to talk to the individual involved, talk person to person. There are other alternatives, for example, contacting animal control, contacting Humane Society, folks in charge that perhaps could lead somebody down the path to find the appropriate agency to deal with that. But probably the first thing to do is simply talk face to face.
Yes.
Make sure that indeed you're seeing what you thought you saw, and find out if there's anything with that person's situation that you could be able to help. It may not always be what it seems.
You're absolutely right. So you do need to do those things. All right, Sarah, let's say someone wants to donate food or other items to the Pensacola Humane Society. How do they go about doing that? Is that something that you would permit?
Absolutely. In fact, we rely on it quite heavily. So the generosity of the community is something we always try to encourage. We have wish lists and stuff on our website that they can check out for the specific items that we really use or have a great need for. But we'll pretty much accept anything pet related. All they do is bring it down to our shelter. And if we're not open at the time, sometimes they can just knock on the door if they've just got a donation they want to drop off. We're always happy to accept it.
So around the holiday season, do you ever have people come in and just donate some pet toys?
Yes, we do.
It's exciting, right?
I know. It is. It's great to see. And if they do that, I usually try to invite them if they want to hand some out. We generally go through them, make sure they're kind of safe toys for the pets to do or to have. But because we've had people sometimes put some like battery-operated toys or something that they want to give to a dog, and we're like, we're not, we don't want the dogs to get to chew on batteries or something like that. But if they're safe toys, if they're donating great ones, we want them to see kind of the joy that it can bring for the pets.
All right, Shelley, what are some foods that pets should avoid? We know chocolate's off the table, right? Is that one of them?
Yes, absolutely. Grapes are another one, and that can include raisins and raisinets.
All right. Awesome advice. Thank you so much for joining us, ladies. Okay, folks, to learn more about the Pensacola Humane Society, including its clinic and adoption services, you can call 850-432-4250 or simply log on to the website, pensacolahumane.org. Indeed, one person can make a difference, and you can be the change that motivates others to help animals in need.
The last time you needed to know, there wasn't this or this. When the last hurricane hit our state, we were there. And today, we're still here. But we're also here. Introducing Florida Storms, a free mobile app from the Florida Public Radio Emergency Network, built just for Florida. With content from the National Hurricane Center and National Weather Service, Florida Storms will alert you to any weather hazard that may threaten you or your family. Florida Storms, download it today.
During this segment, we'll focus on wildlife in all their glorious splendor. It's important to mention when these animals are injured or orphaned, we as citizens can definitely be proactive. I'm happy to welcome Darlene Willis, volunteer coordinator for the Wildlife Sanctuary of Northwest Florida. And joining us for another segment, we have Shelly Ashley with the Pensacola State College Veterinary Technology Program. Ladies, so good to have you here. Okay, Darlene, let's start with you. Let's talk about a general overview regarding your responsibilities at the Wildlife Sanctuary, the things that you do.
Well, the Wildlife Sanctuary has a lot of animals and a lot of different kinds of work. There's so many things that it's more than our staff can handle, so we're very, very appreciative of our volunteers. We get a large number of people that come by and they think they want to come play with the wild animals, and you get to, but you also have to do a lot of work.
Oh, yes.
So I sort of oversee when they come in, getting them organizing, teach them about the rules and the protocols that we have at the sanctuary to keep them safe. We have some large animals, lots of sharp beaks and talons, and we do have to provide a lot of safety for our volunteers.
Understandably so. Now, how long have you been with the Wildlife Sanctuary?
I've been there for 11 years.
11 years. It probably seems just like yesterday that you started.
It's like a whole new life, actually.
It is, unlike any other, right?
Unlike any other. I never expected to see this in my life.
Now let's talk about some of these animals because I am quite intrigued, and I know our viewers are too. So bobcats, bears. Let's talk about some of these animals.
We are primarily a hospital and a rehabilitation center for indigenous wildlife in Northwest Florida. So anything that lives here that is wild, native to the area, and if it's orphaned or injured, we'll take it.
All right, and we see some beautiful pictures up right now from the facility there.
Right. So we'll take anything from hummingbirds to eagles. We have even had a beach mouse to bear cubs. So if it lives here, we will take it and try to help it.
That is amazing. Now, let's say I'm driving down the side of the road and unbeknownst to me, I see a skunk on the side of the road. What would the average citizen do? Let's say we found an animal in the wild, right? Do we have some steps we need to follow if we happen to be in a situation like that? Can you tell us?
Absolutely. Actually, your best course of action is going to be to give us a call.
Okay.
Because the animal that you find depends on how we're going to react to it. Some people know a little bit about animals and they're going to do the right thing. And we might be talking about a small bird, or as you said, we might be talking about a skunk. So we got a different protocol. I wouldn't want to
find one of those, but seriously, I don't think you would either, Shelly. But that's right, Darlene. So that is very wise advice that you have given us. Make that call. When in doubt, always call. Because we don't want to take on too much, right? We wouldn't want to be attacked by an animal, right?
By and large, though, we get a lot of calls from people who find small animals in their yard, your backyard birds and that sort of thing. And there is some standard advice for that. And that is, if it's something that you can easily capture without any danger, put it in a dark, quiet place, a box or a cage.
Okay.
And bring it to us as fast as you can.
And let's say we find a nest in our backyard in a tree with some baby chicks. So in a situation like that, as you mentioned,
you want to be sure that mom's not still around. I mean, the nest might be fine. She might just be off hunting.
That's true.
Some people don't realize that baby birds and other baby animals are left unattended for long periods of time.
That's not good. Shelley, let's shift on over here. Have you ever had an instance at PSC where someone has brought in an animal, as you had mentioned, that could be in the wild, or that was in the wild?
We have certainly had folks inquire about that.
Okay.
And again, because we are not a medical facility to the public, and we are not a licensed wildlife rehabilitation location, we generally will refer them to the wildlife sanctuary, to Fish and Game, the appropriate agency, to take that animal.
Very good. Are there any other distinguishing factors, Darlene, that set you apart from what is done at PSC or maybe even Santa Rosa or Escambia counties with those animal shelters?
Well, unlike the shelters and the Humane Society, you can't come adopt our pets.
Right.
However, I say, we do have a fostering program for our volunteers. And if you really, really love that little furry squirrel that you found in your backyard, we do have a fostering program where you can come and learn how to take care of these animals. We get between 3,000 and 4,000 animals a year come through our door.
Oh, look at that.
And of course, they're not all babies, but a lot of them are. And we need foster moms for them.
That's a very good point that you raised. Now, how expansive is your facility, acreage per se?
Well, we have a pond behind our area, as this picture's indicated, which covers a lot amount of territory there. We have several large aviaries where we house our eagles and some of our larger animals. Some of them are permanent residents, and some of them are just transitioning through getting medical care. But we have quite a few.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
So precious. Makes you smile, doesn't it, Darlene?
I always crack up at them. They're great.
That's great. Now, Shelley, with your students in the program, do some maybe say, hey, I would like to volunteer at the Wildlife Sanctuary? We'll focus on that a little bit more later. But have you ever had a partnership, per se, in some respect, with the Wildlife Sanctuary? Maybe not even on the
at this time, we have not. However, certainly we are always open to discussion about that. We're always interested in experiences for our students to be able to explore different areas of veterinary medicine, and certainly wildlife rehabilitation is an important part of that.
All right. Now, regarding the facility that you have and some of the procedures that may be performed on animals, will you talk a little bit about that? Because there could be an injured bobcat that might need a little bit of surgery, or you could have another animal. So to what extent do you actually care for these animals?
Well, we have staff on duty with years and years of experience, but we do not have a veterinarian on duty. So a great deal of what we cannot handle ourselves in the medical field, we get a lot of help from our local veterinarians. A lot of pro bono help from them.
That's
They've been wonderful to us.
Partnership in the works here. I can feel it. Darlene, let's talk about the Friends of the Wildlife Sanctuary. Ring a bell, huh?
Yes, we have some wonderful friends. Like I just mentioned, the veterinarians being them. We have a lot of people who donate religiously to us.
Okay.
People who come by with gifts, and of the monetary sort, of course. We have local institutions and prominent people in the city who like to help out on certain occasions.
Speaking of help, December 3rd, an event is coming up, quite huge, the Holiday Open House. Would you like to talk a little bit about that?
I certainly would. We have 3 open houses a year, and because we're not primarily a zoo, we're not really there for the public's entertainment. Like I said, we're primarily there as a hospital and rehabilitation center. But 3 times a year, we do open our doors, invite the public in to see what it is we are doing. And at that time, we'll get out some of our birds of prey, put them on a glove. You can see them up close.
Nice footage from a previous event right there.
We have different booths where you can buy gifts. There we are, showing off some of our fine turkey vultures. So this is always fun for the kids, for them to be able to get up close, and maybe we can pique a little interest there in wildlife and nature.
Inspiration.
Absolutely. You can come and feed the pelicans if you want to at our open houses. We'll have crafts and food. We accept donations of all kinds, and sometimes music, baked goods, and our holiday open house. We usually have a very, very interesting gift shop.
I can tell, and look at those supplies. The second half of the caveat is the supply drive, as you just mentioned. What things should people avoid donating? There are a lot of good things, right? But the things that should be avoided.
Well, they have to remember that animals don't eat what people eat, which was mentioned a little earlier.
Yes.
So keep your food donations appropriate. We don't want any processed foods. We want things that are intended for animals.
Sound advice. All right, Shelley, getting back to PSC, have you ever had any students that have told you that once they graduate from the program that they want to take it maybe to another level, that maybe they want to open their own shelter for animals, or maybe branch out a little further?
We've had several students who are interested in pursuing specialization in different areas of veterinary technology, as well as working with exotic animals, certain species, things on those lines. So there's a lot of different opportunities for our students as veterinary technologists, as technology students, not just working in medical practice, but many different avenues, medical research, clinical labs, again, wildlife sanctuaries, and even the federal government, certain positions there. So the world is wide open for them as far as job opportunities. And we've certainly had students begin to explore some of the boundaries there, which is wonderful.
Now, as far as the enrollment is concerned and the job prospects out there for the students, if they're, let's say you had some words of wisdom for anyone thinking about getting into the program, what would be some tips preliminarily that you could give them?
Well, first of all, absolutely do those observation hours. Those are essential to find out if this profession is right for you. It's not all just holding and hugging and petting puppies and kittens. They are veterinary technicians, are veterinary nurses, they're anesthesiologists, dental hygienists, radiology technicians. It's medicine. So you've got to not only love animals, that's essential, but you've got to have a love for science, a love for learning, and above all, a commitment to your profession to be the best you can be.
Absolutely. Darlene, speaking of commitment, hey, things happen all hours of the day and night, correct? And as a volunteer, you know that. Can you share with us maybe one story where you had a pressing issue, where there was an animal that needed treatment and you had to come in, and what was the result of that? I know it's hard to single out one. I know it is.
Stop me.
We saw some bobcats there. We saw an eagle. We saw pelicans.
We had a woman come in once who had an owl, a large owl, fly into her car when she was driving. And this owl was stuck in the grill of her car. Oh. And I'm not really sure why she came to us instead of going straight to a veterinarian, but she did come to us. So we had to get this animal disengaged, evaluate it, find out what it needed. I think eventually it did have to go see a vet, but we were able to stabilize it until it could seek veterinary care.
Awesome story there. I'm glad that everything worked out well. Speaking of regular veterinary visits, some people avoid those altogether, but really they should be followed to the letter. Am I right?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Vaccinations?
Vaccinations, regular physical exam. I can't say enough how important it is to get a yearly or even biannual physical exam, just because there's so much of a difference between a year of lifespan for them compared to us.
Compared to us.
That's right.
All right. That is exceptional. Thank you so much, ladies. Okay, folks, we did invite the Escambia County Animal Shelter to join us for this program. However, due to a scheduling conflict, they were unable to provide a representative. So at this time, we'd like to give you some pet adoption information. There's no doubt precious animals in search of new homes are looking forward to meeting you face-to-face. To find out more about the Escambia County Animal Shelter's adoption services, please call 850-595-3075. The facility is open Tuesday through Friday from 11 a.m. until 5 p.m. and on Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m.
Unlock your newest member benefit. Over 1,000 episodes of your favorite PBS shows. American Masters, Antiques Roadshow, Nature, Nova, Masterpiece. Watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere. Become a member, sign in, and start streaming today.
During this segment, we'll continue our discussion about Wildlife Sanctuary of Northwest Florida by delving a bit deeper with its volunteer coordinator, Darlene Willis. Plus, from a veterinary perspective, we are excited to have Shelly Ashley here once again. All right, Darlene, let's just take another dive here. Volunteer opportunities right up your alley. So let's break down the specifics for anyone who is interested in volunteering.
Well, if you want to become a volunteer with the Wildlife Sanctuary of Northwest Florida, you can go to our website, and there's a link there that will give you a little more information. I can tell you now that we have a lot of people who think they're interested in it, and it may not suit them, it might suit them. They may not know until they come. But our volunteers do so much, there should be an aspect for everyone. We have people who come in because they love to care for the animals, but we also have people who want to help out. We have volunteers who do construction for us. We have people who do gardening for us. Everything at our facility, everything that you would do at home has to be done at our facility.
Absolutely.
You have to wash dishes, you have to mop floors, but you have to think of creative things for the animal.
True.
Enrichment. You have to prepare diets. If you imagine we take in any kind of animal that lives here, well, you can imagine the array of diets that we have to prepare every day. We'll probably be preparing several dozen different diets because obviously skunks do not eat the same things as blue jays. So we're going to be making lots of different diets, spending a lot of time in the kitchen, spending a lot of time cleaning up. And then in baby season, of course, we're feeding all those little babies, the little baby birds, all the little baby animals. It's very time intensive.
Look at that, feeding right there.
There you go.
So delightful, isn't it, Darlene? Now, let's talk about the screening process for volunteers. They fill out an application. Is there an application fee?
There is an application. We do have an application fee. When that application comes in, it works its way through the office to me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact that person. When I get a collection of a good handful of application forms, I'm going to hold an orientation.
Good.
And this is to let the folks know what they're getting into and what our rules are, because we do have some rules, of course. We have to for safety reasons. And after that orientation, they are able to start volunteering. We're a little free form. You can set your own schedule. We do require that you put in at least 3 hours a shift because it's going to take that much time to maybe get you into the groove of what is happening that day.
Yes.
And you can pick the days you want to come in. And then most of our volunteers do tend to come in once a week. Not everyone can, but most of them do.
So is that the minimum time frame, at least once a week for a few hours? Would you say?
No, it's not ironclad.
Okay.
We have people with a lot of different interests in life. We have people who go sailing for months on end and then come back and visit us. We actually even have some out-of-town volunteers who are only in Pensacola a certain time of the year, and they'll come in and help us when they're down here.
Good. Shelly, and you mentioned before many of your students enter the program, they'll have an internship somewhere out there, right? Have you ever had any prospective students just come in maybe and observe for a little while before they sign up for courses in the program? And can you just talk about that a little bit?
Well, they do observation hours in local practices or, again, animal shelters, Humane Society, not necessarily in our program courses themselves. We do have an open house. In fact, we just completed our open house last week.
That's good.
Where we do invite the public, including prospective students, to come and tour the facility, meet the instructors, and get a little bit of feel of what the program is about and what to expect.
That's always encouraging.
Yes.
So do you normally have an open house before the beginning of a semester? Is that a time frame or whereabouts that you would have one?
We have generally had them in the fall time of the year because it does take a certain period of time for students to meet the appropriate prerequisites for the program, get their observation hours. The application deadline is in May of each year.
Yes.
And we generally then start admission every fall. So there is a certain amount of time required to prepare them. So the fall open house seems to work well for us in that aspect.
Now, I know there have to be so many shining stars in the program. Can you think of one example of a student where they have just flourished, so to speak, in the program?
I can think of many of them that can. We have absolutely the best and the brightest students. In fact, this graduating class in 2016, we've had 100% pass rate on the National Veterinary Technician examination, their board examination, which is just phenomenal.
It really
100% pass rate. And we have a graduate that is working at a veterinary school in the ICU.
Okay.
We have a graduate that's working in a specialty practice up in Birmingham. So, yes, we have many shining stars. We're so proud of our students.
We know that's right. Darlene, back to you. Interning. The internship program, I know, is growing, right?
Yes.
So can you tell us more about that?
Well, we do take interns at the sanctuary, and they are required to put in a 5-day-a-week work week. They'll do many of the things that the volunteers do normally, but obviously they're more serious about this,
Yes.
and they're going to get exposed to a little more of the detail of the medical care of the animals. And in return, then we'll be working with the college that they're...
I just have to pause for a moment. That's just
You
too
keep
dear not to
distracting me.
acknowledge, right? Absolutely.
But we'll work with them in references and recommendations through whatever organization they've come to us. But aside from the interns, we often get volunteers from people who may be going through some sort of vet tech course also, and they just want to get some hands-on. They want to start learning, or they might be interested in doing it before almost observation hours at our facility to go to yours.
Right, PSC, that connection there. So let's talk about some of the expansive duties and maybe even the time parameters for the internship. Seems like it would be a little bit longer than the volunteer status.
Yes, I think that would probably depend on the educational facility that they're working with.
Okay.
We have an intern with us now who I believe is going to be with us for 3 months.
Good. On average, yearly, do you have many internships there? Let's say numbers, maybe 10 to 20 per year, or maybe even higher?
No, I would say less.
Less.
One of our problems is that because we are a nonprofit organization, obviously our staffing abilities are not as we'd like to have them be. Our staff has to take the time out to train these interns. And we are so busy, especially in the spring and the summer, that our staff is just spinning trying to stay on top of their normal workload. So we can't take on a lot of interns. The staff is just too busy to do the training that's required.
Understandably so. Education programs. So do you all visit schools a lot?
We do.
Invitations? Talk about that a little bit.
We do. I like that. That is one of the things that I've been lucky enough to be involved with. And we get calls from a lot of different schools, and they like to see the critters. So what we have is we have some raptors, birds of prey, who have come to the sanctuary injured in some way. Sometimes they just cannot be rehabilitated enough to be re-released out into the wild. And some of them make very appropriate education ambassadors.
Good.
I happen to be very lucky. I have a very good friend named Princeton, who is a broadwing hawk, and he is the hawk that I handle. So when we go to these schools, we usually bring birds with us.
Okay,
we
birds.
do, and we have owls and hawks and kestrels. and sometimes even our vultures. They're a
Okay.
big hit, let me tell you. But this is really wonderful because some of these children have never seen a wild animal
I would
up
imagine.
close, and they're just thrilled. They are just thrilled.
So oftentimes, do you receive donations when you go out to these schools, or is there a fee?
Yes, we do. There is a fee for us to go
Okay.
out. We also do tours at the sanctuary. We have schools and different clubs and organizations that contact us and they want a private tour, and they come to the facility. And then, of course, we can show them just the few birds. We can show them a lot of the animals that we have on exhibit. And the animals that we do have on exhibit are, again, animals that could not be re-released into the wild, but they make very good ambassadors for wildlife. And people come and they see them, and they're, you know, it's a touch of nature that they normally wouldn't have. So although we're not really set up to be a zoo,
Right.
we do have some wonderful exhibits for people to come and visit. And we are open to the public from Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 3:30. And the public can come and just walk through.
That's good.
And I've had people tell me that it's such a wonderful break in my workday. I just come over here on my lunch hour and walk through and look at the
Tranquil.
birds.
More
It's
than likely
tranquil.
it would be,
It
Darlene.
is.
Such great information. So, Shelley, back to you. Any closing thoughts that you may have? You have had a colorful life. You've done so much. Any words of wisdom that you would like to leave for our viewers, those who are pet owners now or thinking about becoming a pet owner or adopting an animal?
I think the most important thing is to remember to be an advocate for our animals, to advocate for those who don't have a voice, who can't speak
Yes.
for themselves. That's why we're all here. That's why we all do the job that we do.
Well said. I can't add anything to that. Ladies, it's been such a pleasure having both of you on the show this evening. All right, folks, as we close the show, we want to provide the following information for the Wildlife Sanctuary of Northwest Florida. The facility is open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more information, you can call 850-433-9453 or log on to the website PensacolaWildlife.com. Again, I want to thank all of our guests for joining us. I'm Ramika Vincent Leary. Have a good evening. Remember to keep it locked in right here on WSRE, PBS for the Gulf Coast.